Right. Love what you're doing, bro. Love what you're doing.
Here we are back once again. It is I, yours truly, the maniac. I go by the name of Thando Nkonyana. This is yet another episode. Is it safe for me to say that we are welcoming a new season of the Motivational Maniac podcast? This is a milestone. Finally, everything that we are doing right now is brought into reality, and we shouldn't be scared to actually approach everything. I hope practically this will be the first time that everyone gets to see me in person. Besides me being on my YouTube channel, to all those who are tuned into my YouTube channel, Thando Nkonyana on YouTube, like, subscribe, and do what's necessary, man. Put out the notification bell so that you can get an alert as soon as I just drop my episode right there. But I just want to welcome this new season off on a great note. We finally live in the flesh. We are on video. This was, what can I say? It is something that I've always wanted to do, and you can speak about it. But Drake said, it's not time for you to speak about it now. It's time for you to be about it. And our journey is all about action, guys. For everyone who've tuned in right from when I had nothing to right now, I just want to show my appreciation. I also want to greet and open this episode in the name of Shiva, the Holy One, the one that precedes us, the one who gave us opportunity to be here in the first place. And we are not here without him. Basically, to everyone who is not aware, I refer to God as Shiva. Everyone has a different way of referring to God. And to me, it's not about you following a religious form of thinking, but instead it's all about how you can relate to God, because that has been one of the most important relationships I had to build this year. I don't want to make this about me because I have someone who I haven't seen in a while practically that I wanted to have on the show just to pick his brain, just to find out how things had been. I last saw him when we were very young at that time. I was still in primary school. We were in a different province at that time. So I just wanted to catch up with him. He's grown, he's experienced stuff, and offline he's told me stuff that I can be able to relate to. And practically, Mihlali, this podcast is about my personal journey through the concrete jungle. And before we even started to record, I asked you, did you listen to the show so that you can just get a feel of what we're all about? And everything is just conversational. There's nothing scripted. Okay. So we just make sure that whatever is on your mind, we lay that down. And yeah, that is all, everything, man. And let me just give you just a small brief on why I started this whole thing. First of all, this podcast started in 2021. Yeah. 2021 December.
It's been a while, man.
Yeah, so on the 1st of December was our first episode. And this has been 3 years into the making, because before I even started this thing, I had asked myself, it is my responsibility, first of all, to tell my story, but I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, how to
Go about it. So I started becoming a student of YouTube. I call YouTube my university because that's practically where
and those people it is.
Yeah, bro. So
It is.
during that time, I learned the importance of journaling, taking your thoughts. And at that time, I was unemployed. I was in a bad space. It was less than 2 years that I'd lost my mom. So I was a father. And I just felt like I didn't have direction at that time, but I still had this oomph in me. So this one day I decided, let me just every day, after the day ends, let me journal. Or when the day starts, what do I want? Reflect on tomorrow.
Yeah.
What I experienced the previous day, what I'd like tomorrow to actually look like. And all these journal entries started to become like a way in which I can put them in words. My teacher in high school told me I was a very articulate person. And first of all, I was very afraid of public speaking.
Finally, you ever
Shout out to Miss Bradlow, my former history teacher, who told me, Thando, you can stand in front of the class and actually teach the entire class.
Yeah.
And I was in disbelief. I'm like, what, me? I couldn't be able to do
The
that.
innovation started there.
Yeah, she planted a seed, bro. She planted a seed, and that seed, it sprouted and it grew and it became a tree. So I just want to also give her kudos for planting that seed, like I said again. But now I turned these I turned these diary entries now into a podcast where I was like, let me just reflect on my journey throughout high school, what I learned, what I went through. So the first 2 seasons of the show is practically like it's scripted. It's me.
Everything is just
It's me just putting down those thoughts into episodes. At that time, I went on YouTube and I just typed there how to start a podcast free with your phone. I just started with my phone and a dream, bro. So God, that's a start. Yeah,
this is after everything, bro.
yeah, you have to start somewhere. So that is where I started. And in me starting there, bro, I didn't realize that I started a revolution. Like I was doing all of that stuff that I had been contemplating 3 years before. Because the one thing I also understood about you starting what you want to start is you're going to be around people that once you start to spread that idea amongst them, like, no, man, that shit don't make sense.
They'll be negative. They'll be like giving you like ideas that this is not gonna work.
Of course, bro.
Like, what are you talking about? This is not your stuff, man. Like, this is suburb stuff.
Yeah,
Nigga, you in the wholesale stuff.
Yeah, like what? Obviously, like, they're gonna want to invest that energy of what to give up, and that is what I was faced with. So my question at that time was I gonna listen to these people, or was I gonna go at it alone? So I became this crazy dude.
Basically, if you're telling me doesn't grow me, then it's not for me.
Yeah.
It's not for me. It has to grow you about your time video.
Yeah, what doesn't grow me doesn't own me. The code I created for myself. So I had to first declutter the circle. That is one of the most important things I did at that time. The moment I decluttered the circle, I found I'm alone in this bitch. But there's a reason why God shows you your dream. He shows it only to you.
And he'll never put you in a position where you're not gonna come out of it.
Of course. So when I decided that the people I'm around are not going to help me get to where I am, the only person who can help me is myself. That is when I started to understand that everything in your life is your responsibility, whether it goes sideways or whether it goes towards your way. But at the end of the day, everything is your responsibility. You're responsible. So put that blame on you. So that is when I started to understand that I am the maker of my reality. I create my world with my thoughts. So I put these episodes down and I wake up 5 in the morning, just to record episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. I start watching tutorials on how to do all of this stuff. And yeah, first 2 seasons, I gone, okay, let me try something different. How about I start having my friends on the show? And then I conversate and try to find out about their journeys, how they went through it, and so on. So it was something that was conversational, but the category of the podcast is it's a personal diary, and also it's about social sciences because we cover everything and anything that you are going through, but we don't have certain topics unless someone would want to discuss that topic. Yeah, dog. So I just wanted to give you that brief. So I want you to introduce yourself to the audience.
Yeah.
Who are you? Where do you come from? Like anything and everything that you feel like you want to share on the show, which is something that we too highly appreciate because this is a platform where people can be vulnerable. This is a platform where people can actually speak their truth. And I thrive on doing that, spreading ideas, understanding that the world is unique and we all see it differently. So you can start off by doing that for me. Who are you? Where do you come from? What makes you you? What are your ambitions? Where do you see yourself? What are the challenges that you are facing? What gives you purpose? Like what gives you drive every day based on whatever you have been through? So you can just answer it in any kind of order because I just want to hear the idea. So I'll give you the floor, my G.
This is Carl First name, second name Mihlali, last name Pienaar. I was born here in Guguletu, by the age of 6. Went to Eastern Cape Alice. I grew up there. Man, like it's been a journey for me, like getting to this age and everything. I've been like most places, like I've traveled, like a lot, man, seeing different faces, different people, different experiences, and I've loved that. And I would say, yeah, I love meeting new experiences to other people, like meeting other vibes, like it's a great experience. And then coming back here, like after a long time, like yeah, I've been coming here a lot, like holidays, growing up, coming here holidays, coming to my uncle, like yeah, man. So when I like officially came here, like nah, no, I'm situated here, like fuck, and that has changed. Because when I was coming on holidays, I didn't see much because I was there only for like 4 weeks, 5 weeks gone. Then I'm gone. Now I'm here like as a Spain, like 2 years now, 3 years I'm here, and I'm like shit. A lot has changed. People have changed. Even my family has changed. Because this side are like I've both families this side either way. But I grew up at my father's place, father's side. Grew up with my grandmother. She's my motivation. She's my most motivation in the world, like strong woman. Yeah, she's a strong woman. But like she raised me to a point, but I have to understand, but anything that happens in life, it has to happen and it's meant to happen. Because whatever situation you're in that situation, and God is gonna take you up because He put you there. He's testing you, testing your limits of how when you wanna go and as a person. Like she's always did things like in a certain way, like always teaching me stuff like, hey man, man, count, learn how to count, learn money. Like she taught me about economic stuff the most. Like with the news, man, you must know everything that's happening in our economy. Like you must know your finances, you must know what. But I'm like, fuck, what's wrong with this old like?
She's prepping you for a
Oh
dog.
no, like even the subjects that I went through high school, I didn't even like ask her what subjects I should do. I decided for myself because of where I come from, of what she taught me as a youngin. So she taught me all the economics stuff, the accounting stuff. So I went through that stage, like fuck, she's a motivation, bro. Like she made me who I am, and I really really appreciate her the most. Yeah, as a person was in life, you go through shit. She's been there. Like I've went through like depression and stuff, man. Like it's been a lot, man. And but you always come through all those stuff, man. Of course, yeah. Because I grew up as a person who was always angry. But I never show it because I'm always like, man, let me forget that. It's understandable, but me understanding it but not accepting it, was the problem.
So there was a huge difference between you understanding and accepting us.
I didn't accept it, but I understood it. So me understanding it, I took away the acceptance part and just threw it away like out the window. I'm like, bro, but it just stored there. I need to accept. Yeah, I was like, okay, cool. Everything the anger I had, every anger I had, I was like, okay, cool. Let me try and accept things, because it put me into a point where I was always fucking like nervous, like, I had nerves, man. I was stressing out a lot, I would like switch, like to somebody else just like that. But I'm always a calm person at the point, like some point. I'm always a calm person. I'm cool, I'm calm. I like to be humble. I always have a saying, I'm nice, but I'm not kind. Because there's a reason why I say that, because I can be a nice person. Because I'm not trying to like judge you on anything, but poke me, I'm not kind. I don't have that softness inside. No, 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 no. I'm nice because I have to be nice. You have to be nice to everybody. Because you can't just meet up someone and like, hey, when say, no, you have to be nice. Because someone you do not know. Yeah, you have to have a proper approach, like, yeah, even if you have your own stuff and all that, throw it away. Just be nice. But don't poke me. Because I'm not gonna be kind. You see? There's different levels. But otherwise, man, like, it's been a while, man, and I haven't seen you in Ohio. You know, man, like,
You were, how old was I? How old? Yeah, at that time.
it's been a while, man.
Yeah, that was one of those moments I never forget as a youngster, because you were my brother. You still my brother at that time. And the fact that we went to the same school together, the convenience, even though it was a very dark moment for Nayabo, in terms of me being left by the Eastern Cape and doing all this kind of stuff. But I don't want to lie, being there, it actually shaped me in a way, because it made me avoid a lot of stuff that I could have seen come maybe if my mom had kept me here. And RIP to her, that's not a Thando Nkonyana. That's my first love. The woman who I talk to all about. Like, take some time and go on my Facebook lives. Like in 2021, 2022, 2023, and you hear, but I'm always preserving my mom's name because she passed on in 2019. Yeah, well, she was in a bad space. You know that thing when you're a soldier and your armor has been taking so many shots, gets to a point where now it's racked. So now you're no longer the protective layer, because all good protector everyone and you protect yourself the least. So it took me time. I can also relate in terms of saying that you had anger at a young age. I also felt that anger, because remember, I'm being taken from Cape Town, from reality, and then all of a sudden I'm dropped there. Yabo Tetwanix and all of that, and everything is made all glossy, but you young, mostly.
Young, yeah.
Yabo, I was 10 years old in like this, and it was a very hard time for me, but it's a time that I'm blessed and thankful for, because I come back now and my father is no longer in the picture. Yeah, well, in him not being in the picture, in a way, it made me realize that I have to surface this world alone. And many of us, we don't talk so often about how not having a father figure role. Not saying that my aunt's husband was not there because he played in the father role, but I'm just saying your biological father not being there, it's something that is very effective. And I can't even relate to in terms of like the movement about that you went through after, because I left in 2006, Pana, in December. I don't know what happened to you. And I'm sure that later in the show, you're obviously going to go into where you moved, the experiences, Nindo Zinjala, how it shaped you, because you told me offline when we spoke a couple of weeks ago, by sir, you had to really adjust to everywhere. Siakuyo, Makulu was taking you up a question down and so on. So I'm not saying the fullness ratio in terms of adjustability, but the fact that you have to always start over again, it's something that a lot of people don't see how hard it is, because now Uzbona, like, there is a sense of where do you actually belong? You do get to a place where you as Muslim, where do I actually belong? Am I in the right place? Why is all of these things happening, Kum? But as young as we were, bro, God was always there. Like, the higher power is always going to be there. So to me, I see you as a very strong person, especially Moku, you were telling me about the stuff that you went through, Yabo, moving to all these places. And it takes heart, man. It really takes heart. And but the fact that our song as a negative, Lando, instead you used it as a positive, because now you had the ability to learn, be around different kinds of people. You can be able to slaughter in certain places that maybe it wasn't deemed that you were acceptable kuzo.
Yeah.
Yeah, ibona lawe. So
For instance, bro, like you get to a place, more antics, likely. But you get the figure machita, like the smoking this shit, smoking all kinds of shit. But you hang around with them, you know, like befriend them, like become friends with them. Like for some kind of reason, conversational wise, let's say so, man. Not everything was gonna be like friendly. Because you know, like my highways are, bro. At the end of the day, but pin of a boy, pin of a team. So you're not gonna like be on that space. But you know, like, but I know this nigga, I grew up with this nigga. Never had a child team.
yeah, but
Mugan Bunang
all three.
yeah, like, and then Gangan Bunang Mingusan or fair fan, Penyon Dazi, you like, okay, the Struna song, or if you get in the Yamak say, I can't look to number and like, dude, like, I know this guy. I know this guy. I will don't massive. Punda making a bonnet PTP chat. No, that what's wrong? Damas long, I conversate na long. I sit with this person. Yeah, he conversates now. He tells me what he has in the heart or in mind. Like, then I feel cool. You know, like, now we travel and meeting new places, meeting new towns, new faces, new experiences, new atmospheres, and more especially, environment get change almost. And the atmosphere change when you get to a new certain spaces, Like you see people like, okay, like, yeah, you can get a person from up, from an apan, but in a different form, you know? Umfumana umntwana apha eJozi uzomfumana apha.
Because the environment is different.
It's really different.
No, I get you that way. Ezinye izinto that now I had to take into mind because during high school, I said a lot, abantu bangaphandle, that would be like my foreign brothers. They taught me a lot. Yeah, but my foreign brothers were actually Gaba who opened their homes to them because for the last 2 years of my high school life, I was not living at home. Because I made a decision to say, the people in this house don't care about my education, so it means I must care about my education. So I failed grade 10. So because I was catching on shit, bro. Yeah, but busy banking school, the whole enchilada, because my friend who was on the show, he says that in the teenagehood period is like crossroads. It's like you wedding jail. Moto zamba pants like Israel's tells us all those things. But then I had a moment of epiphany. Because Namkand is born for a majority, like for the first 3 years of my high school life, I was in denial of, I come from a poor home. My mom is an alcoholic. My aunts are alcoholics. I don't have my dad in my life. I don't know where he is. It's even hard for me to come to school because the feeding scheme, that was my only means of like having like food in my stomach. So you deal with all these things, but then what changed from Navetu is I stopped bullshitting and I started to like face the truth. I started to embrace where I came from. And I'm not ashamed of it. Yeah, but yes, I failed, and it was on my own actions. I can't blame nobody. Nobody said I must bank. Nobody said I must smoke. Nobody said I must do all those things. It was all about accountability. So I took that accountability, and obviously, when you stop that, when you are firstly known as the ladies' man, yeah, but next thing, all of a sudden now you're too much into books because I knew I was smart, bro. My mom told me,
I've always been smart, bro. Yeah, you wanna know it. Even my call always said, Thando was always clever. I wonder if it's still clever now. Like, gee, like, Thando was clever. It's still clever now.
yeah, so I had to also protect Lawe Theatre because that's your reputation now that you have to protect. Yeah?
You have to protect that.
And in within the years that I got up to a lot of shit, I found that I was around people who were jealous of the brain I had. Because no matter how much been Marsha, that never, I pull me like, I love books, I loved reading, yeah, boy, I love doing all this kind of stuff. But then I was not in an environment that encouraged there's something that you can kind of like make out of this. So I used that to do like bad stuff here. Yeah, boy, like tricking girls and doing all this kind of stuff. Yeah, boy. Yeah, but yeah, right. So I always talk about, even on the show, on previous seasons, that that was a phase for me. And I'm glad I went through that because you have to go through certain stuff in order for you to learn. But okay, that thing, I know outcome make a band, yeah, bo. Yeah, well, I'm glad I did it while I was young, but eventually I had to grow up. I had to be like, except, so you can reach grade 12 and pass well. You always hang up to create a reputation, you're by ladies, man, and all this kind of stuff. And you being ashamed of where you come from ain't gonna do you good, nigga. Instead, it's gonna be a disadvantage. So I walked, and I mean, we were announced by we are the repeaters. I walk with my head up high, and I think about this Tupac song, Hold Your Head Up. And even though you fed up, you gotta keep your head up. So I kept my head up, like I passed in my own failures. I'm like, I'm responsible. People were shocked. No, not him. Not him. I'm like, guys, please, man, I know what I did. So for every action, there's a consequence, and this is the consequence, yeah, bro. And luckily, I didn't have a reputation in terms of Moshe scan. I was known as the DNA Thando Iske, like my mate. Otherwise, even when my niggas were caught doing bad stuff and I was there, I was never seen as the instigator because the relationship appears rule. Even when my niggas were getting caught for smoking at school, I used to smoke at school.
But you're never caught.
But I was never caught. And part of the reason, fair to, is because I try to make sure either I do it with my neighbor Kanye, shout out to Kanye Tendekwana, hoping that you come on the show, my G, so that we can reminisce on those days, bro. Those lesson-driven days, bro. That was the nigga we did everything. They called us Tom and Jerry. Because where you see me, you see him. You know? Yeah. So yeah, we reminisce on those days. But yeah, boss in that failure. And next, obviously, when you start to make different decisions, yeah, phela kumate, oh, Thando uphelelwe, oh, no. Like, I don't care about that, bro. Yeah, ngasasifuni ngoku, angasafumane mamesh. But that didn't matter, bro. What matters was I wanted to be at school, I wanted to finish school, and I wanted a different circle of friends. Hey, yeah, and I got a blessing by getting the most. That teacher is a disciplinarian. Shout out to Mr. Z. That was my homeroom teacher from grade 10 up until grade 12. And the first words. My phone. Here we go. Volume part. Here we are back one. Yeah, so Mr. Effendi's first words were, sir, you're not going to be any trouble for this year. And I said, yes. I fell into the arms of a band who were there during my journey because there's a man stopping me from all this mischievous things. There are going to be outcomes towards this. We stop doing what you are doing. You're clever. All those that's yazinina must because man, abantwana man, antika man can't sleeping and then you leave. But then that was not the year for that because izandla lafikela kuzo. I just want to shout out these people. It's Nasip Nchinchi, Bruce Makazi, Visinzala, Nwabi Samtobo, and many others that I go at the top of my head. I can't call them out, but they were the people that were in that class from Nayabo. And Nwabisa has been on my show, I think, 2 times or 3 times. And I'm going to record an episode now here for the season as well. Looking forward to having you on the show again. We are officially on video, Nwabisa. But yeah, fair to the hands I got into just for me to have a change of luck. That was the biggest thing. New friends, new environment, clean slate. Like, obviously, then
Also new parts, you had a new perspective.
Yeah, I have a new perspective in life. And that was the most important thing. My will to say, okay, Thando, let's think about 2015 right now. 2015 is my matric year. So, like, what does the version of 2015 look like? That is when I started to take that seriously. Like, always trying to see what would the better version of me be doing right now, obviously. Yeah, the smoking doesn't stop because you still smoke. Because to me, as long as it didn't affect my marks, then I would continue doing it because I was still a teenager. But this is no justification, guys, to go there and smoke weed and do all that kind of stuff. No, I'm not justifying that, but I'm just telling my journey and what it did for me at that time. Yeah,
some of the kids, like they smoke, like they get lazy. It's not like they can't like achieve what they want to achieve. It's just sometimes they're lazy. Others like just it makes them misbehave. Like get into other stuff, mature. But we all know that weed is like it's not a drug.
Yeah,
we all know it. weed is not a drug, but we're not all the same. Our mindsets, our brains are not the same, you know.
To me, I would say weed just reveals who you are. So if you are the person that love to do certain things, it just exacerbates that. This is based on my experience, guys. Don't say that you got on my show and I gave you that. No, because he's good at what he does, so I must go ahead and smoke weed. Nah. And by the way, I smoked weed for 14 years. I stopped last year on the 8th of November. So that's of this recording. It's been a year since I actually smoked. And it's something that is part of who I used to be and not who I'm trying to be right now, because I'm a father. I need to be an example. I need to think about that. You see, how does that reflect on my child? I'm not saying my child won't smoke, but I'm just saying it gets to a point where you ask yourself, is this what the future version of you is also going to be doing for the future? Because you have to consider your health.
Yeah.
So they were those health reasons. But in turning the corner, but for anyone who's tuning in right now, I just want you to go back on season 1 and season 2 of my podcast, and that was in audio form. Listen to that. Listen to the things that I was going through, because that is the summary of my 6 years in high school in two seasons.
In 2 seasons.
Yeah, me losing my grandfather, learning, okay, you're on your own, understanding everything, and it was something like that. But just for me to take it to you, in terms of your journey, because we lost each other in 2006, take me back to 2006.
Ah, man, 2006. Before 2006, mostly, I don't remember nothing. It's like my brain just hit those memories before 2000s. We hit those memories. I only have flashes. Okay, I remember this guy. Okay, I remember when we were doing something before 2000s. I was younger than you in 2006, way younger. 4 years younger than you, 3 years younger. Yeah, you know. 2006, I was 7 years old. I left here 6 years old. My mother passed away when I was 6, 2005. Or no, 8. You know, man. Like,
How did I deal with that, bro?
I was still young, man. You know, like, I didn't accept it, but I kind of understood it, you know, as I was growing, you know. But there is something called death. Yeah, there's something that's not here, you know. It's something that's not here that I can't accept in some kind of way, you know. But I understand that, okay, I don't have a mother. It's cool. Since a young age, okay, cool. I understand. You know, shout out to Ndongaise Kweta. That's my mother. Love her. You know, like I didn't grow up with her. I don't know her. I don't have memories of her, you know. People tell me, they tell me, yeah, Pshadi, yo, mama, spoil, oh, mama, Thando, oh, but, you know, like, that's it.
Even though I was young now, I'm never let all out for when I feel
You know, like, so, like, in those cases, okay, as I was growing, I understood it, okay, cool, I don't have a mother. But the mere fact that I didn't accept it inside of me, you know, like, but more cool game or go like gee like oh
life filled in the role.
you know, like she actually filled that whole space. I remember a time I think it was around about 13. I did something wrong. I think I smoked and then I came high at home. And she was telling me all the stuff. No, like, oh no, ma'am, what's the wires and this and no. Like, I kind of understood those codes, like, fuck, years later, like, she was actually, like, putting me somewhere that you have to understand and accept that you do not have a mother, and I'm here for that. So I have to tell you what you have not to do and what you have to do. You know, like, if it's not good for you, it's not good for you. But at the end of the day, she tried to, like, give me space to see my own path, you know, like, okay, make your mistakes. You make my mistakes, and then she tells me, do you see where you made a mistake? I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. I'm gonna fix it, you know. So from 2006, you left, I stayed there, you know. I didn't stay for like, I stayed only 2006, 2007. Then when I was about to go to grade 3, I think it was 2009.
Still at Davidson.
I still at Davidson 2008, and then I left there, Alice. I went to Adelaide. Me and G, we moved there from Alice to Adelaide. We were staying at another cousin of Uchi, again, cousin Yage, Sis Blanche. You know, like, she was an amazing mother now. another amazing person, like she had a bubbly personality. So we were staying at her house, at that time in Adelaide. And I was in Adelaide Primary where I got, okay, now it's a new experience. I'm getting to like the town there. I'm a plus, I'm a pool up and like, what the fuck is going on? I'm only fucking like in grade 3. I'm like, shit, I'm a pool. But I knew why she took me there. Like, the preference is like different from the Africans. Like,
Because you off colored.
no, I'm not half colored, bruh. I'm not half colored, bruh. Like, so like,
That's a joke.
yeah, everybody thinks so. Back here, my colored, since I've got my land.
The name and the surname.
Yeah. So we moved there, Adelaide, like, okay, cool. Now I'm a police, like, this colors now, okay, in the private Nyana school, yeah, well, it was private back then, now it's changed, the whole completely different thing. Oh, it's fucked up. I could say so because I don't know, I'm not there, but people, how they portray it, yeah, came out of there like, it became fucked up, and now a couple of primary, others went to high school, from high school, like, shit. So from there, like, I moved game over like, okay, Nasala, Adelaide, Ashala, when I was still teaching me stuff. And I have a thing, but everywhere I go, I have different friends, new people I meet, like, there's a guy I used to play with back then, like in Adelaide, who was in Cheetah. Who was this guy? Who was this guy? But I remember him. He's Mama Kumchita. We shared the same birthday, February 27th, We shared the same birthday, no Mama Kumchita. So when it's my birthday, it's Nyapaloma mind, you're like, okay, cool, the Shalapa, like Mchita, like we were close to Mchita, but still in primary. So after that, Nakala maybe there, like 2010, then I came back in with Alice. Back to Davidson, like, think they'd go up high primary, man, they'd go up high primary, the way.
The people of grade 9 Lambo.
No, yeah, like, I think 5 years back. I got at grade 7. So, in primary, I was actually a quiet person. And you were like, quiet kid, man, like, yeah. I had a little boy, I had a small body, like, so, and a baby looked like I was fucking, like, shooting, like, bam, like, like, this plan, So, like, fuck, okay. Now I'm reflecting now and driven with like, shit, I was actually quiet at primary, and I was actually smart at primary. That's the only place I was smart in primary. After that, I don't know what happened. I don't know, and it's my own accountability. Like, I blame myself for not focusing much on things. Like when I got to high school, I was like, fuck, okay, I'm in high school. And damn, like, okay, I'm getting all these big kids, the small kids, the medium kids. I'm like, okay, different faces, different colors. I'm like, okay, cool. I was always a quiet kid myself, always calm, quiet, always a bookworm. Then I got to high school, and then, you teenage, you start getting to stuff.
You experiment.
Yeah, you experiment. They're like, okay, you're growing now. Like, fuck, okay, I'm growing. Let me experiment on these things. Started getting high. Fuck, that was 2013 that started getting high. Fuck, okay. This shit is good for me for some kind of reason. Okay, it's good. Then I moved again. I went to a different high school. In high school, I've been into like 4 different high schools. In high school.
Is it in different towns?
In different towns. Like, so it's been crazy. It's a crazy journey. And like, grade 10, I was in the toilet in Fort Beaufort. Yeah, the town next to Alice. Like, okay, cool.
That's where we used to go to church.
Yeah, we used to go to church there. Damn, man, you still have a fucking good memory.
Well, it was like
There, man. Man.
I look back of that bantam, gray bantam, Ford bantam.
A great grandmother used to drive that baki like a no, she was like a crazy woman.
It was girl, and she was driving R.I.P. my G. They had that big house.
She's one of the people that, like, I feel like she had an impact on me for some kind of reason, because when I was still in Davidson, we moved was from Adelaide. Then went back to Alice, but we didn't move Pagland here to be moved. I think she kind of sold it line earlier, Uchi. So after selling that house, we moved into so like not change like Unongayidot. Yeah. That's what we should, my ex, man, Unongayidot, or whatever they call her,
That's her mom was.
Yeah, that's a mom. Yeah, that's a mom, Madlamine. And so we moved there, Ladini, and then we stayed with her by Ladini from 2010. And we stayed with her, like, okay, we're feeling like, the thing is, I stayed there, I had an experience from 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, until she passed away in 2013. Like, at least those 4 years, I experienced a lot, man, from her. Like, she was old, man. She passed away at 94 years old, man.
Yeah. Bro, she was 80s. She was in her 80s driving.
Everyone, like, knows her, like, she's the strong woman. Like, fuck. She's always like, like, she walks like a man and fuck, like, fuck. She was a strong woman, man. Like, she taught me a lot, man, from...
I want to be like what's the funding fast and
And she was also a big person, like Pagla area, like in other places too. She was a big person, like everyone knows her, like East London, they know her. Sure, they know her, like Miss Carly, like she was a nurse, so like everyone knows her, like she was a big. So she was a nurse. Yeah, she was a nurse.
I never knew that.
And a teacher. She used to teach in primary, I think, and she was a nurse also. That old lady was like fucking big thing, man. Dad, so credit to her, like she like all of that stuff, like she had, like I kind of like wanted it, so I was always listening to her, like always staying for her, like, okay, if she needed some small thing, I'm like, damn, I'm here, like, because I know I'm gonna get something, some wisdom, or like some spiritual motivation, even if she wasn't like conversating that much. Yeah, but she was conversating with me, like, I didn't know tea at the time. And then I shop, don't tone. How don't open me, like she was always there, So yeah, she passed away in 2013. Peter her, and eventually, like, okay, I'm okay, cool. Which is a corner house, I'm like, okay, cool. Cool. There's still another great person, like. And then from 2010, like from grade 10, I moved to grade 11 to another place. Both can't move from Alice, but to another school.
You were still living there?
Yeah, because back before I was not living there. When we moved on from Napa, and then we and grade in grade 11, I moved. Checking because the school in Thando Nkonyana, and I stayed there for like 3 months. It's
Only 3.
3 months.
Why 3?
3 months, bro.
Only 3 months.
Yeah. First term. That's basically first term.
You were there only for a term, and then you left.
And then I left. I came here in Mosobedium.
That's where G is settled.
No, she's not settled there. We went there to like cases, accounting, I think I remember, yes. I gig accounting. So I was like, okay, cool, gig accounting. I was like, okay, what's available? The college is like Faro. Okay. So yeah, but it was an excelling school, but still,
Yeah, it's still raw.
Yeah, but it's still
impossible.
Like it's real, like, oh, these school.
Now I'm trying to get, are you in the Western Cape or Eastern Cape?
No, before
you moved.
The first time I was there in Thando Nkonyana, I was like, fuck. I'm here in Thando Nkonyana. Okay, cool. Go real lapha mas. Ngale mas isigela sedama sekas mas. Yeah, because this is probably before the sekas. I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, no real go shit. Fuck. Okay, cool. I'm planning him mas. I don't have a problem. Kalikula in the bazar mas that in like, but you follow the lifestyle. I know the lifestyle. You follow up mas. Okay, cool. Hey, namu ngena pa. Hey, we follow her like. Got to argue, sir. Come ding. What the fuck? I'm gonna dish out of English I used to love. She used to love me too because of my things and approaching her English, Yeah, like, okay, cool, wamba now. Yeah, like, what the fuck is going on with this school and Africa? Like, I'm trying to settle in and then, everything is just shifting away, Got to this accounting. I'm like, okay, what's available? Then I found that in the add on guys who get accounting. Like, no, because tourism is agriculture. From a commerce, like putting me in a different direction, like.
And it's major, mostly.
Yeah, yes, the Eastern Cape, it's a very major subject, agriculture. There's also an agricultural school. When you black hotel, yeah, Hoxback. There's a cultural school, Pandalas High School. It's a high school.
See, it's specializing in agriculture. It's a high school. Okay, I understand because of the Eastern Cape, how agriculture is something big. That's
Something big was we are going somewhere to Fumira, Crane, and but there's also an agricultural school, a private agricultural school in Fort Beaufort, Winterberg High School. Never. They're also like major in like agriculture and all that. That isn't like high school like on a border commercial. There's even a farm, like farm niche or like farm.
this is the actual subject specializing, right?
You specialize in that. So I was like, okay, cool. Lapha nguthiwa mandikhethe between tourism and agriculture. And like tourism, tourism and like in tourism ndifunde ekhaya like it was a basic thing. Tourism ekhaya, it was in the world map, most people like world map of the world, like okay, sure, like globe, like yeah, like I know like half of the countries in the world. I know where they are without even like okay, sure, I can tell you about okay next to which country or which country going north and south, So in the Kuleklawe tourism, like even had a book in primary in Patulong Oleti, like in a like you like as we Statue of Liberty, what no, kneeling towers and don't do in India.
Also, always benchmarks.
First benchmarks, like I used to read them in primary. I had that knowledge in primary. Like so like okay, cool, like tourism, I'm like, nah. The contemplating, like, nah, when you didn't put it aside, man, maybe it's gonna give me some new introspective, Okay, cool. And then I look out here and I figure, yeah, I don't know what was up. I don't know what was happening, bro. Like, they figure and shit. And game will come in grade 11. I remember that. It can look at grade 10. So the way introduction, but I'm not the inner picking.
So you longest news.
Yeah, you figure most of the chemistry, agriculture. I'm like, fuck. So, started in common, was plans and in common. Do I get grade 10? I'm like, what? Grade 10? Hey, okay, must pour. Hi, H plus. I was always like chemist. What is H? I don't even remember. But there's an element I think it was hydrogen. Then I plus in one, but see what I didn't even, like when was all going for like bro, like what is this? I don't know what you and many I was always pissed and I'm like, say what team many I figure up. Now but so we can come to Colin.
So this bar, yeah, but
Ndiyafuna ibala le nto ibalayo oxygen. But ke ngoku uzayibala ngezinye iindlela wena uzibala nge-numbers, uyibala ke ngoku nge-elements. Because I do not know what element contains how many percentage or whatever dosage container for the addition. I don't know, have to know numbers and to know okay, izibalwa njani muzum. Now you're telling me okay, the H container how much. So we're gonna call that the H. This is what the H in person. I don't know. Commando yeah, so they pissed off nje okay phela term oluthi Ukraine wabuza uthi are you coping well like since suka commerce you know nje coping well because the Palestinian young and then I'm not getting anything ofuna mina ndiphinde ndifumane indlela zami ndikawikadeni of which is gonna take longer to catch up akudala ke yebo like
kubanini, bro.
exactly. So I'm like okay ujathi John my man, okay, it's fine, we're gonna move.
No hesitation.
No hesitation in life. Gonna move, okay. Sendithatshile umntwana cousin wakho uMagala. Yebo. Alright,
Festival in
Muscle Day, yeah, Magala. Lo in a crèche, I don't think you remember. In a crèche in Guru Muscle Day, So moved again, go what to touch Magala, like, okay man, don't scare. But okay, point. Is a map, Daniel, figure settled in. Kodwa hayi ke mos ufuna isigelo ke sure ufuna isigelo noma ne-cousin yami Dideka ufuna isigelo fike Indwe high school, like now I'm like okay sure and some also big okay even bigger buildings now like I'm there like okay cool okay ndafika to a new environment, new atmosphere, new people, but I had a cousin yami Gogo, probably not a cousin yami mtshana wami because mama gikazi. Yeah. So if you get Koye Mchita, but he's older than me, a bit old, 2 years older than me. So if you get Koye Mchita, you can course. You can establish a that's when the music stuff started happening. The artistry in me, like, loving art, loving music. I wouldn't say I'm a musician in effect, or, I would say I'm an artist. Whatever I touch, it is art. It's an art form. What you are doing was an art form. It's not entertainment. Yeah. It's not entertainment. Yeah. Oh, yep. It's actually deeper than that. Art is deep. Being an artist, you're actually a deep person. So, Lando your Thando Nkonyana actually propelled that as you got yourself in, meeting with these niggas, go from studio to studio, and like experiencing these niggas that empire ciphers, battle ciphers, freestyle ciphers, the music scene. That's when game walking. I'm okay. Fuck, I love this stuff because from Addis, I used to write, like poems, started from poetry, was all that shit. I started rhyming, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm actually attracted to this stuff. I have to learn more. Yeah, because I used to listen to hip hop. I grew up with hip hop music, listen. I was one of those kids in grade 3 in the Motorola, many buttons and line, listening to Eminem, Lil Wayne. You're in grade 3 listening to Eminem, Lil Wayne. While there was a Mamelo Banba, what this guy's back there, Big Nas, like, Machi, house music, quiet, or Misakon at least quiet back then to 8 or 9. So, no, quiet was the show. Yeah, it's Misakon, when the house movement was also impacting as it was transcending to 2010s. Yeah. So when we were listening to those Puchumuchu, the people that listen to those stuff, Puchumuchu, like, yeah, man. It was also like, fuck, okay, dim that the logo, like, I'm not saying like dim data, but like, I'm saying the word gig, the second level, like, fuck, I'm the only one listening to Eminem, Lil Wayne, or Amachi, 50 Cent, or, like, Dre, like, that's when out to get more. I was still in grade, I think I was still in grade 9. And touching up, sex, money out. Like, Hotman, like, apparently, Hotman, I started knowing in that time, 2014. I was not impacted going to Terrell towards a when you born. But I'm born, I'm like, grand. Like, yeah, grand, music. How much Kendrick, yeah, I was listening to that. I see, Kendrick. My name was love Kendrick. Like, 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 boy, what's the good? Like, fuck, what do Which was all about, fuck, why didn't one, like, first time I encountered cheat was listening to that recipe hip hop. So, like, fuck, why intrigue cheat like, say, like, kwa pailali in bacon, mamelo the recipe, sure, hip hop, and I was a figure and I looked at my figures, my despise. Taibo, or China, Maggie, best then, like, figure no matter the chap, So, yes, the outfit, Kendrick, Dr. Jenny, I know those guys. But what Tim Suga, me to Mubala and Jebra, no, like that, me the bra, woman, call it, like, that figure, and I'm not the land figure, the particular. But I could think, blah, blah, blah. After that, I didn't see him again, Cocoon. So, getting back to a muscle pay. So, muscle pay, yeah, music scene. Yeah, and can I born, can I mind go, okay, I can rap, okay, I can kind of sing finesse, I could say. I can finesse, like, okay, cool, yeah. But I doubted myself so many times with Thando Nkonyana, like, not putting myself forward, always pushing back, like, fuck, okay, man, I did trust the winning battle. Still, yeah, and he trust the way man. Yeah, and he came back and winning battle there. There was always, okay, I have to, like, different there, perfect there, I was always like that. So, like, okay, cool. Then from Muscle Bay, I stayed in Muscle Bay. It was actually good in Muscle Bay. Actually, I was actually comfortable in Muscle Bay, Yeah. Smoking was part of big things, I would say like a cool, like actually drinking and going hard. I must pay, I was still fucking 16 at that time. Yeah. Crossroads, got material, getting to know material, like fuck, material, all this shit. Like, fuck, okay, cool, you know. And that group, I was the only one who was like, that's by two, like, well, to grade 12, and I was in grade level. All the other niggas were in grade 10, grade 9.
So they,
But I was actually the younger guy.
were you the younger looking guy?
Younger looking guy.
They looked older than
They look older than me. And they might even be older than me. Some of them.
but it's just because maybe they repeated grades.
Yeah, it's a repeated grades and everything, you know. So I was like, fuck, these niggas are crying otherwise. We're like, okay, they were cool. Then I stayed there, then there was a kind of conflict, family conflict in Wupa, in Wuku, like, I must obey. So, like, they would dapsiba more, your cousins were conflicting and all of that stuff. Yeah, boy. Mail taps came board and the seal run, but I don't know what was going on. I didn't want to even get into the conversation, you know. So she was like, fuck, girl, you are moving in. Let's go. Let's go. It's not gonna be good for you if I die. She was always that person was like, if she sees by